Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm super excited because I am doing a Q&A. It's been forever since I had done one, so I asked you guys on my April favorites video to leave me questions. Thank you guys so much to everyone who did leave me a question. I wish I could answer all of them in this video, but unfortunately it would be super long if I did. So I tried to pick some of the ones that I thought were most interesting, questions that I hadn't asked before, and also I did see quite a few questions asked repeatedly, so I really am going to try and answer those. As always, I will link my past Q&As in the description bar down below, and I'll also link my 50 random facts about me video, because those are all great ways if you want to get to know me a little bit better. And also follow me on social media. I am at Sarah Rihanna on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, because that's also a really great way to get to know me. One last thing before we jump in, as I have already mentioned numerous times, I am doing a giveaway when I hit 100,000 subscribers, and we are so close, so be sure to hit subscribe. But let's go ahead and jump into the questions. I've got my computer down here in front of me, so if I'm looking down when I'm reading them, that's why. So Marissa asked, speaking of podcasts, what podcasts do you enjoy listening to? So if you missed my April favorites video, one of my favorites was my Beats headphones, and I was talking about how I've really been enjoying listening to podcasts recently when I'm like doing the dishes and falling asleep. So just recently I started listening to the Jenna and Julian podcast, which I'm sure most of you guys know. It is Jenna Marbles and her boyfriend Julian Solomita's podcast. I love it so much. Obviously both of them are absolutely hilarious, but I really like it because their podcast isn't just like mindless. They talk about interesting subjects. Like they do podcasts on like conspiracy theories and like weird phenomena, and like they did one on like different beliefs on what happens after you die and things like that. So they actually have like interesting, intelligent conversation, and I feel like I do learn things from their podcast, but at the same time they keep it very light and very humorous, which I love because I like podcasts that I can just kind of listen to when I'm like doing other things or when I'm falling asleep, and I don't need to have like 100% focus on them, if that makes sense. That being said, I'm pretty new to listening to podcasts. I haven't been listening to them for that long, so if you have any recommendations that you think I would like, leave them in the comments below. Next question is, what's a beauty product you used to love that you no longer love? The first thing, and really the only thing that comes to mind, is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. And it's not that I don't love it anymore, it's just that it doesn't work for my skin now that I'm oily again. I still think it's beautiful and like totally worth the splurge if you're someone who has more normal to dry skin, but it just doesn't work for me, unfortunately. I'm gonna answer this one because it kind of combines some questions that I saw asked multiple other times. So you asked, what kind of pets do you have, if any, and when are you moving out so you can get your puppy? In my personal life, I am known as like the crazy animal lady who has a ton of pets. So I just kind of naturally assume that everybody knows I have a ton of pets, but I kind of realize most of you guys watching me on YouTube, and especially if you don't follow me on social media, don't realize that I am that crazy pet person. So the pets that I do have, the pets that we have here at mine and James's apartment, I have my chinchilla, who I've had since I was 15. I absolutely love him. We also have a leopard gecko, a blue-tongued skink, and then a jungle boa, so a snake and 2 lizards. And then there are pets at my mom's house too, which are still my pets. You know, we have our 2 family dogs, Cassie and Willow. Willow's the puppy that my mom just got a couple months ago, the little adorable whippet puppy. I love her so much. And then we also have 2 ferrets and a bird called a green singing finch. It's kind of like a tiny canary. So yeah, that is a grand total of 9 pets. To answer the second part of your question, we are moving very soon, like within the next 6 weeks or so. As for the puppy thing, not totally sure. We are on a wait list, so hopefully we won't have to wait too long, but it'll probably still be a little while before we do get a puppy. I like this question, it got me thinking. Missy asked, how much per month do you spend on makeup? This is kind of hard because it does vary a lot. There are months where I buy absolutely no new makeup, but then there's also days where I'll go spend $400 in one trip to Sephora. So it's like a very big spectrum. I'm very lucky because I do get a lot of like PR packages from different companies now, so I'm extremely grateful for that. So I always have like a lot of new makeup coming in. As for what I'd spend, I say probably like $100 to $200 a month, but once again, it varies so much. Okay, I'm seeing lots of questions about James and my relationship and everything. First one is, how long have you and James been dating? So next month on June 29th, that's our anniversary, we will have actually been dating for 5 years, which is crazy, and we have known each other for 7 years within like the same week. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. Definitely a big anniversary and big relationship milestone. That's like half a decade. On a similar note, the next question is, any marriage plans in the near future? Love the new hair color, thank you so much. Naturally, since James and I have been dating for quite a while now, we do talk about marriage fairly regularly. I don't think it's going to happen anytime super soon, but we do basically know that we will get married at some point. I would get married tomorrow if James asked me, honestly, but like I know that we're not quite ready for that step yet, you know, we definitely still have some growing up to do. But yeah, that is definitely without a doubt in our future plans. Next question, love the new hair color, thank you again. Question for the Q&A, do you dream of the traditional fairytale wedding? Love your vids, keep them coming. Thank you so much. This is kind of a tough question because I do and I don't. On one side, I am like, yes, I want like the complete like princess dress and like the whole experience and like a beautiful venue and like beautiful wedding photos and everything. But on the other hand, I also just want like a really small wedding. Like I would be perfectly fine just eloping. I know James really doesn't want that though, so that's probably not going to happen. My ideal would be like, I still get the dress and everything, but we just like elope and have like a very private, intimate ceremony. This is gonna sound pretty sad, but I mean, I don't really have anyone in my life that I'm close enough to ask to be my like maid of honor or my bridesmaids or anything. Like I don't have anyone that I'm like best friends with, like someone to ask where it wouldn't be like super weird. So that's kind of one thing that kind of terrifies me about like having a big wedding, because I just don't know what I would do in that situation, to be 100% honest. Next question is, where and how do you get the inspiration for all your meal prep ideas? I follow you on Snapchat and always see these delicious healthy vegetarian meals you make. Where do you get your cooking inspiration and how do you get yourself motivated to do meal prep? I'm so lazy and hate cooking. So my answer to this, where I find my meals, Pinterest, 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 and more Pinterest, honestly. Every time before we are about to go on like a big grocery trip, when I'm making my list, I hop on Pinterest and I look through different recipes and everything. I look through my boards that I already have and things I've already pinned and just kind of plan out at least like a few different things I want to eat for the week. I absolutely love cooking and baking and everything, so like finding motivation to cook and everything isn't really an issue for me because it's something I genuinely enjoy. I love trying to eat healthy. I am vegetarian, but I also do like a ton of vegan cooking. I more meal prep for James than for myself because I do have the luxury of working at home. I can just kind of like cook whatever. So I do meal prep for James because I want him to have good options to eat, and it also does save money than him like going out and getting lunch when he's at work. So saving money is definitely a big motivator, and I also just want to encourage James to eat healthy. So maybe just try and remind yourself that it's going to be really convenient for you. It'll save you time throughout the week if you're trying to meal prep, and also you'll feel better if you eat healthy and you're putting good food into your body. So the next question is asking for an update on the whole living and landlord and puppy situation. I did kind of touch on that. Like I said, we will be moving very shortly. Our lease is almost up. The reason I haven't really talked about it since is because there hasn't really been anything to update on. I will probably talk more about it once we have actually moved though, and I can just be a little bit more open and like tell you guys what ended up happening. But yeah, there hasn't really been any communication. Like I haven't like brought up the idea of getting a puppy again because it just seemed kind of pointless. There's really just been like no communication between both parties. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. In the same comment too, you asked if you could only keep one subscription box, what would it be? BOXYCHARM, hands down, best subscription ever. And then what made you decide to get all of your caged animals? So when I was younger, like 15 to almost 18, I worked at a pet store, just like a local pet store that's now closed. James and I actually worked there together. That's how we met, hence all of our animals. My whole family is basically animal obsessed. Like I grew up with hamsters, gerbils, rabbits. I had a hedgehog. I don't even know what else. We had doves for a while, like ring-necked doves. I've just always grown up with pets, so it's kind of just like a no-brainer to have pets around. I think they really do enrich your lives. Some people just don't get that, but the people who do love pets know what I mean. What's your favorite place to shop for clothing? Also, would you ever come to Toronto? I'm pretty basic when it comes to clothing. Like I don't spend a ton of money on clothes. I definitely focus my energy more on like makeup, and then I just buy like a lot of like basic pieces and things like that. I've really been liking Boohoo lately for online clothing. I also have like this distressed hoodie dress that I got from there recently that I'm obsessed with. I've been wearing it non-stop. I don't know, I like Urban Outfitters, Victoria's Secret Pink, Simon's. I'm like really a basic white girl when it comes to my clothing. I love Lululemon too, like all I wear is like Lululemon. And Lolé too. Lolé is like another Canadian yoga store that has really good quality and they're cheaper than Lululemon. I really love them too. I'll link it down below for those of you who are Canadian, which it sounds like you are because you asked if I would ever come to Toronto. I actually went to Toronto for the first time pretty much exactly a year ago for Generation Beauty, and I absolutely loved it. I fell in love with the city. I would love to come back. Generation Beauty is actually happening towards the end of June, really shortly. and I really want to go, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I already have a ticket and everything. That's not the issue. I do get like a free like creator ticket, but I'm probably going to have to give it up. It's just a lot of money. I live on the opposite end of the country, so it's a lot of money for like airfare and like hotel for a weekend and everything. And I think because we are moving and everything, I can't swing it this year, unfortunately. So I think I'm gonna have to forfeit my ticket, which really bums me out because I did have a lot of fun last year. Mandy asked, can you recommend a great face SPF for the summer? Tarte Guard SPF 30, hands down. It is my favorite facial sunscreen. It's hydrating, which is very uncommon for sunscreens. The actual ingredients that make up sunscreen tend to dry out your skin, but because Tarte is like slightly more natural and there's like maracuja oil and everything in it, it's really hydrating and nourishing for the skin. Like being more oily, I can get away with using it as my everyday moisturizer, so definitely recommend that one. I'll link it down below for you guys. Next one is, would you rather live in one place for the rest of your life or travel around the world once a month to a different place for the rest of your life? Love your videos and your new hair color is beautiful. Thank you so much. This is kind of a tricky question because immediately I'm like, traveling. Obviously, I love to travel, and if you were traveling like a new place every month, you would literally get to see the entire world, which would be like a dream come true. But at the same time, like every single month you would get so burnt out and so tired, and I feel like the kind of novelty of it would wear off and you wouldn't enjoy it as much. But at the same time, it's like I can't just like pass that up. I don't know, unless I could like live in one place and then still travel regularly. I don't know. I think I'd pick the traveling either way, because I mean, how can you turn that down? This is the second last question I'm going to do. As a fellow Canadian, I'm not sure how I missed this, but what is your hockey team? Have you been enjoying the playoffs? So we cheer for the Oilers, of course. I have been watching the playoffs. James is absolutely obsessed with hockey, for those of you who don't know. So I'm very burnt out on hockey because he watches literally every single game, and like if there's hockey on that night, which it's the playoffs, so there always is, he won't do anything else. Like he doesn't want to like go anywhere and do anything different, so a little bit burnt out on it. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of ready for them to be over, but I do still enjoy it, and of course, I mean, gotta root for the Oilers. I'm filming this the day of like game 7 of the current series, so tonight is going to be very interesting. This video will go up after that, so we'll either be advancing or we won't. I'll know by the time this video goes up, but either way, there's gonna be a lot of yelling from James tonight. And the final question, I love your hair color, thank you again. And are you going to do a new post-Accutane update? So if you saw my recent update, I think I posted it in February. It was like my 4-month post-Accutane update. I mentioned that that was going to be my last one for a while. I really don't have anything new to report on other than my skin getting oilier. But yeah, my original plan was to do that one update, and then I'll probably update once I'm like a year post-Accutane. And as of right now, unless anything changes, that is what I'm going to be sticking with. But yeah, I still don't have any regrets in taking it. My skin is still very clear. I do get like the odd little hormonal blemish like around the time of my period and everything like that, but nothing too bad. I'm still very happy with my results. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys once again so much for the questions. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for watching. If you have gotten this far, hopefully you found it interesting. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did. And once again, my past Q&As and everything will be linked down below if you want to get to know me a little bit better. But go follow me on social media too. Snapchat and Twitter, definitely the best places to get to know me, and I'm at Sari Rihanna everywhere on social media. I'll actually also link my Pinterest down below if you guys want to follow me, since I did talk about recipes in this video. Hit that subscribe button down below if you are new here, but I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye guys.